Mike and I, we love different things. From choosing our food
to relaxing or keeping fit.
but we get along well.
It helps when your home is right beside a mall.
So much to love.
So much more to life. SMDC.
What's that?
This is us at home. We played all day and swam with the shark. But the best part is this. Dad! So much to do. So much more to life. SMDC.
My day starts early, and I don't mind. Because all my office meetings are just a walk away. I even have more time for the VIPs in my life. So much closer. So much more to life. SMDC.
I've always enjoyed living at my place. So why not share the experience? That's why I invested in another unit. I can earn more, and they can enjoy life here. So much more rewarding. So much more to life. SMDC. SMDC.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to Eden Awaits, a lifestyle webinar to launch SMDC's mid-rise residential garden community developments all over the Philippines. I'm your host, Mica Pineda. Thank you for joining us today, and we are very excited to show you SMDC's garden residences offering families safe, comfortable and convenient living in progressive locations nationwide. And this is perfect for thriving Filipino millennials, OFWs, and even young families. And today we will be having several segments So, where we can take a look into today's green home living and how this contributes to, alam mo naman, positive lifestyle changes for Filipinos and their families, as well as a discussion on the benefits of investing in SMDC's mid-rise properties. If one of your dreams is to create a better lifestyle and purchase a new home or have a new investment, then you're at the right place. So how about we help you achieve your goals? Let's begin with our first segment, Parenting in a Green Community, with our guest speaker, a celebrity mom of 3, Miss Aubrey Miles. Hi, Aubrey.
Good day, everyone. Hello. Thank you so much for inviting me to speak at today's event, syempre. As a parent and someone who enjoys being around nature, I'm very excited to talk about the benefits of green communities, especially when raising my family.
Aubrey, we're glad to hear that this is something that you're happy to talk about, and it's something that's close to your heart. So officially, to get this ball rolling, why don't you tell us, ano nga ba? What would you consider is a good environment for your family?
Syempre, a good environment for my family is one that can give us optimal comfort, security, and great social opportunities. A space where certain features of our home can contribute to a healthy and sustainable lifestyle. Where we can all enjoy, relax, play, and of course learn, all in the safety of our home and community. It would be an environment siguro that has a great balance of luxury, community, service, and convenience.
Aubrey, I agree. Because finding the perfect balance between security and luxury, as well as space and community, those are very, very important things to consider nowadays. As well as having spaces in green communities is very important as well. Because nowadays, because of the pandemic, we often spend more time at home. So ito talaga napaka-importante. But do you know that these ideas already exist in SMDC properties located in Iloilo, Laguna, soon Cagayan de Oro, and Cavite. But, to just go back, can you paint us a picture of what that actually looks like?
You're right, Mica. I was just about to describe the location of my ideal home. If the property is situated in a quiet but convenient location where I can have a resort-style feel, diba? But also be close enough to retail establishments for my family's convenience and needs. That would be great for me, and we can easily provide for our kids. And of course, when it comes to features of my home naman, I'm leaning towards to syempre yung cost efficient, energy saving, and more importantly, sustainability. And having green features, ito talagang very important for me. As in my home ensures na syempre dapat I'll be able to maximize the value of my home, and also ensures that it lasts a long time. Siguro moreover that I'm super nature lover, as in it's important that I'm able to settle down with my family in a home surrounded by trees and plants. Yan ang very important for me and for my kids. And open air, syempre, trees, and the greenness of nature really contributes to good energy and balance of our lifestyle.
I know you are a plant mama, so I agree with being surrounded by nature and greenery. It really uplifts the mood, diba? So it's really a good thing that SMDC allows for more Filipinos to join more sustainable communities. This is a new perspective, and I'm excited to also learn more about this. And you mentioned green features. Can you expound on these benefits? Ano ba yung benefits ng green features for you, your family, and your kids?
And of course, I don't wanna forget, of course, all these things make me and my family feel comfortable and safe. And it's so nice to just letting you guys know, it's so nice that SMDC is doing this. I want to remind everyone, I'm so thankful. Anyway, I want my kids to be aware of their impact on the environment. Very important for me yan. And I want them to learn the value of sustainability. Being part of green community helps them to develop green and eco-friendly hobbies like planting and recycling to encourage green living. Syempre, when they grow up, gusto ko yung parang kami. I love recycling. It's very important to appreciate green, syempre. And not only that, a green community also retails a long-term perspective. And this gives me security that my home will be a long-lasting investment for years and years. Diba? Sulit talaga.
I can feel your passion about green living even through the screen. And I'm happy to learn more about this in terms of modern living. As we've gone through, many changes in the past 2 years, do you think this green living, this emerging lifestyle will be a factor in finding a new home for years to come?
Yes, I do believe that this new way of living will be requisite for future homeowners and young families. Like what I said, it's very important to have green amenities that gives us, the residents, that resort-style luxurious feeling as it provides the assurance of sustainability. Investing in properties that can last for a long time. And of course, properties with green features and spaces are also the key to a comfortable and secure life in our very own oasis. The relaxing and fulfilling aspects of being surrounded by green amenities and spaces help the nurturing our family, of course. And it matters to moms like me because I know my kids will be safe and they'll be exposed to nature. That's actually also a good way to have like a kind approach to nature. So starting from your home, actually, paglabas nila ng bahay, they'll appreciate and they actually give value to nature. So everything talaga, anything from physical, from mental, from being just with friends, it all starts from your home. So it's very important to have sustainability, a good environment around you. Pagising mo pa lang, diba? Greens actually makes your life way better. That's for me.
Oh, having an oasis of your own right there where you live is really the dream. And it can become a possibility because of SMDC. But before we wrap up, Aubrey, tell us naman, what are your 5 tips in living green?
Wow, 5 tips ko naman for green living. Syempre, choose a community that fosters green growth. Diba? Para masaya yung kahit nasa city ka, you still feel that you're in nature or you're in the mountains or pag napagising mo maganda agad sa mata, diba? Second one, of course, is choose a living space with enough capacity to grow greeneries and is plant friendly for everyone. Third, syempre, shift to using renewable energy and resources. Why not, diba? Fourth is live in a community that's walkable and accessible to establishments, as this encourages fitness while also, this is important, lowering our carbon footprint, diba? And fifth, syempre, ensure the waste is properly managed and reusable materials are recycled. Yan ang important din para naman humaba ang ating future for the kids, diba?
Thank you very much, Aubrey, for giving us a lifestyle perspective on green mid-rise developments and their positive effects on our way of living. Indeed, it's exciting to see how, our future homes can change and benefit our families' lifestyles. Because at the end of the day, we consider that, right? We consider our families as well in choosing a home. But now we have our next segment. We've invited Roy Golez, Leechiu's Director for Research and Consultancy, to provide us an overview on the investment opportunities and benefits of SMDC's mid-rise buildings. This is Investing in Lifetime Homes. Hi, Sir Roy.
Hi, and hello everyone. Thank you for inviting me in this event. So I'll be talking about investing in lifetime homes. A home is probably the biggest investment anyone can make in their lifetime. Thus, a lot of care and thought has to be put into it before a single peso is put out. Now, despite the pandemic today, it's probably the best time to buy your first home. Okay, I think next slide, please. Okay, so I'm presenting here the current housing backlog in the Philippines. So today, the Philippines has already reached 6 million housing units of backlog, which means that, we need to have these new houses built, or else our shelter requirements of our fellow citizens will not be covered. And by 2030, it is expected that this will balloon to about 12 million units. To fully cover the housing needs, at least an annual number of 450,000 units have to be built, both by the private sector and the public sector. Okay, next slide, please. So this slide shows the launches and the absorption or sales of condo units in Metro Manila, which is basically the hottest market for housing in the Philippines. In Metro Manila, only about 17,000 to 18,000 condominium units are being released every year. That's a pittance compared to the 6 million that we need to build and supply to the market. There is just not enough housing being built and sold every year. Okay, next slide, please. Now, housing demand typically follows employment. And employment is fast generated in cities and in the fringes or edges. So what we see here are the new infrastructure projects that are being built in Mega Manila. So that's roads, rails, and bridges, and moving up towards Central Luzon and moving down towards Southern Luzon. So for example, the province of Laguna today experiences in-migration and fast population growth. Why? Because of the industrial parks and also because of the new infrastructure that has improved accessibility to the province. Another example would be Iloilo, where for the last 2 years, that city and that province has been building a large master plan community in the Mandurriao area, and which is where employment has been generated in the BPOs. In fact, in 2020 and 2021, Iloilo was the top destination for new BPO seats. Now, with the construction of all these infrastructure projects, follows land value appreciation. So, why? Because this is where the demand for housing is high. However, because of the high land values, it will be too expensive for people to build, single-story bungalows or the typical house and lot. Thus, we see more mid-rise buildings coming up. MRBs, as we call them, offer a more affordable alternative. In fact, there's a flourishing demand now for MRBs, which add to the benefits for a new millennial or a startup family to own and acquire. These MRBs have amenities, are very secure, have the convenience of city-type living, but in quiet communities, and designed for families. These are also in very desirable locations near places of work for children. Now, so why is it a good time to invest in real estate today? I can think of 5 reasons why. First is that we've seen real estate values to have continuously grown even during the pandemic. So your peso today has grown already by about 8, 10, 20% in the last 2 years. This gives buyers like you and I the reassurance that investments made or your money invested in these projects will likewise continue to grow. Number 2, the demand for housing today is just too huge. And in the future, it might continue or probably will continue to be high. It also contributes to the capital appreciation of your condo unit. Just look at the housing backlog. I cannot foresee it to be covered in the next 2 to 5 years even. Now, that demand will also be good for passive income or passive rental income for investments in residential condos. Those who are not going to buy and live in their condos can rent it out, and the demand for these units are high. Thereby, you'll be getting monthly income through renting. Number 4, at no time ever has there been a situation where developers have offering such modern design, sustainable projects at very low costs in terms of monthly amortization. So it's now easier for a buyer to pay for their condo because of stretched payment terms. And lastly, and this is more of an altruistic reason, buying real estate properties actually provides an opportunity for you, the buyer, to help the country. Investments in real estate have a 6 times multiple in the economy. What that means is that 1 peso spent in real estate actually translates to 6 pesos contribution into the economy. In terms of related services in real estate, labor, construction materials, and so on and so forth. So to recap, there is a high demand for MRB housing today. The investment you make will make you gain in terms of not only convenience, but also capital value growth for your money. At the same time, you're also helping the economy and helping your own health, because the new designs today are already health-focused or health-oriented. And especially now that we are crawling out of this economic crisis. So I personally see economic exuberance as we move out of this pandemic. If we take a look at what happened in the global financial crisis in 2008 or the Spanish flu crisis in 1918, the economies of the world grew much faster right after this pandemic or this crisis. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sir Roy, for that interesting forecast. Very, very insightful. And, review of investment opportunities for mid-rise developments. I do have a few questions. And the first is, what makes the SMDC developments in Laguna and Iloilo strategic? And how will these communities flourish in these locations?
Yeah, so strategic is the correct word. So as I mentioned earlier, in Laguna, there is a continuous employment in the industrial parks, in tourism businesses, and because of urbanization. As Metro Manila starts to grow out southwards,
Yes.
and with the infrastructure following it, we will foresee more and more population moving into Laguna. Now for Iloilo, as I mentioned also earlier, it's the growth of the BPO sector really. Among all the provinces outside of Metro Manila or NCR, it is Iloilo in the last 2 to 3 years that has really captured the, confidence of the BPO companies. The tremendous growth that they experienced there is proof that Iloilo is a prime location for investment. Now, they have actually had the highest number of new seats in BPOs despite all this pandemic.
Interesting. And with that in mind, Sir Roy, so it's definitely a good time to invest in these strategic locations. But in investing, what should the investor like us look out for?
Yes, so primarily investors really should look at location. It's real estate, and there's the cliche about location, and it still applies. The neighborhood should be growing, developments are new, so that you will have future appreciation of your investment. When I say appreciation, your capital investment, your money. Now, if I move on forward, for the 5 tips to consider, I want to suggest in real estate. My quick answers would be, number one, you have to be ready to invest. You have enough savings and cash flow, and even emergency fund before you put out your first peso into your real estate investment. Especially enough money that you can project where you can cover the monthly payments or monthly amortizations. Now, second would be, again, and I reiterate, it's a good accessible location for the project. Demand will come if you're in a good location. And third, that area has demand for housing. So we see the area to have high employment and high infrastructure growth and good governance in the local government unit. And fourthly, you need a really strong developer. Among all developments, there's always the fear that your project where you invested your money in will not be delivered as you expected it, quality-wise and timing-wise. So it's always good to look at a developer, a strong developer, a national developer, to buy your project or to invest your money in. And this is a trend that's been growing and especially emphasized this pandemic, is that you invest in a modern, sustainable project designed to focus on health and, of course, property growth value. And I suppose those are my 5 tips for investing in real estate.
Thank you very much, Sir Roy. Those 5 tips definitely come in handy. So I hope our viewers took down notes kasi napaka-importante ng lahat ng sinabi mo, sir. But again, we are delighted to have had you with us today, and I'm sure our viewers appreciate all your insights that you've just shared with us. So thank you again, Sir Roy.
Thank you.
Thank you. So now we have our last segment today. We've invited SMDC's AVP for Architectural Design Management and Review Head, Ms. Cyrill Marzo, to tell us more about their newest mid-rise residential property offering. Hi, Ms. Cyrill.
Hi, Mica. Good day, everyone. Hi.
Okay, Ms. Cyrill, first and foremost, as mentioned by Sir Roy a while ago in his very informative talk, how does SMDC's mid-rise residential garden communities address yung sinabi niyang mga housing backlogs?
Yes, actually for SMDC, we'll be launched some projects in Iloilo, Cagayan de Oro, Laguna, Cavite, to name a few. So for each project, we have about 1,900 to 3,000 units. So just imagine about 10,000 to 15,000 units infused in the market every year. This is SMDC's way to really help the country in terms of solving the problem in the housing backlog.
I think that is very admirable. So this is really exciting news for the Filipino people. Can you tell us the concept of the development, the components, and the type of lifestyle that SMDC offers through these developments? What makes this mid-rise development a perfect place, or I would say, an ideal place to live in for the Filipinos?
The concept of this development is revolved around green living and sustainability for our residents. These properties will build and redefine their lifestyles by providing facilities that foster holistic growth. It is the future of condo living, as there's a widespread need for social, economic, and environmental sustainability. And then our MRB3 property developments are addressing this through green community building and economic initiatives. For example, for social sustainability, we provide open spaces that contribute to our residents' health and comfort. Community events and webinars is also made available to encourage interaction among residents. So with that, from an economic standpoint, we offer affordable price points and flexible payment terms that are aligned with our market's financial capacity. We also have programs and activities like rent-free community markets within our developments, Our properties are also future-proof and a worth investment opportunity for our residents. Lastly, we also consider the environment. We have included green features that promote responsible energy consumption and integrated commercial strips nearby to lessen transportation and reduce carbon footprints.
Those I think are very interesting and appealing features. And I love how you mentioned future proof. But before we go to that, SMDC really considered all aspects. You can tell, like by everything that you said, Miss Cyrill, they really did consider all aspects. But what we want to know is in terms of design, how are the properties made to be safe, secure, because nowadays that's very important, safety and security, and how is it made into a perfect community to connect?
Yes, so for SMDC, mid-rise residential garden communities are lifetime investments for the residents. It is a future-ready and sustainable property development that doubles as an investment. It is also a critical contribution to a healthier lifestyle. It is the future of real estate. It is designed to be safe and secure with areas that are walkable and easily connected, lounges, open spaces, linear parks, to name a few, and other amenities that are linked with overflowing gardens that makes it the perfect community.
Everything you have said does make it sound like a perfect community. It's very, very appealing. So, when talking about any massive real estate development, of course, there's always a considerable amount of impact on the lives of its future residents as well as the surrounding areas and communities. So, what can the mid-rise development contribute to the market?
Yeah, there are a lot of economic and livelihood and business opportunities as SMDC develops areas where people can flourish, have businesses, job fairs, LGU partnerships, and more. Community-centric programs like the Rent-Free Community Market promote camaraderie and livelihood literacy among the residents. Through the opening of commercial and industrial companies needed in the area, they also provide economic growth and opportunity. From there, job opportunities that come with the development of the property will also aid those affected by the pandemic and, what's happening right now.
Yes, I agree. But of course, no, we think long term. So how does SMDC plan to sustain these new developments for it to be fully future proof?
Well, first, let's define future-proof. Because it means that a design, for example, can still be useful even if there are changes along the way. For SMDC, we always make sure our developments are resilient for any natural calamities like flooding, earthquake, and typhoons through thoughtful planning and engineering solutions. We also inject the SMBC sustainability principles to ensure that the development is efficient, mainly for power and water consumptions. We make sure that our developments are self-contained, meaning we have all the amenities and open spaces within that any family can enjoy.
Definitely, SMDC really put so much thought into its properties. But Miss Cyrill, before we officially close this talk, I just want to ask you, what would be your tips for our viewers who want to achieve overall residential sustainability?
Okay, for number one, of course, choose a residential property with a lot of open space for health and comfort. Nowadays, of course, some properties or developments are compromised due to density. However, feel, of course, you have a freedom to choose properties that are very friendly to your family. Of course, number two, easy to maintain residences that ensure security and conveniences. And then number three, affordable prices that also offer payment flexibility. Next one is the spaces that offer community interaction and other opportunities for entrepreneurial and financial growth. And then green features that push for less carbon footprints, less pollution, and less water consumption.
Thank you so much, Miss Cyrill. All of your tips are very, very practical and helpful. But now it is time to open the floor for questions, Q&A portion. So to our viewers right now, it is your chance to send in your questions via the comment box. Just type it in there and we will try to address them one by one. Okay, wait, I'm seeing questions. All right. I believe we do have a question here for Aubrey. Okay, Aubrey, this is for you. As a plant mom, how does a sustainable residential property like SMDC's MRB or mid-rise developments impact your passion for growing and taking care of plants?
For me, as a mom and someone who loves plants and would be able to, of course, live in SMDC's properties, it's almost like you can have both worlds, diba? You can be in somewhere rural or urban or city or in a building, but you have greens around you. You can have everything. Paggising mo pa lang, it's good for your eyes, and it really makes your home and your environment a better place to live every day, and it makes your heart happy. It's talagang iba yung effect ng greenery in trees. Even yung trees, just you wake up and there's just a leaf hanging or peeking in your window. It really makes a difference. You have to try it. Talagang I highly recommend it. So living with SMDC is very important because this is the one that they're now targeting for everyone, because this is the way of living now, diba? Parang feeling ko, greens is part of our life.
Thank you very much, Aubrey, for that answer. Ito naman, meron tayo. I believe this is something that each of our guests can answer. But let's start with you, Aubrey. What is your own personal definition of sustainable living? And how does a green residential property actually help you achieve that?
Well, for me, that my definition is sustainability is something that you can actually have for a long time. Something that you can maintain for you, for your kids, for your kids' kids. It's something for a long term. So, and also something that it's worth living and something na may share mo sa family mo. And it's very important to invest in something malayo yung future na nakikita mo. So SMDC is here for us to actually have that lifelong investment and happiness that they can actually offer to us. So check it out. For sure, this is something na I think na matutuwa even your kids and your future grandkids.
So we have a question here. What is your personal definition of sustainable living, and how does a green residential property help you achieve it? At this point, I want to hear from Sir Roy and Miss Cyrill on their opinion regarding this question. Sir Roy?
Yeah, so sustainable living for me is being able to use the least number of resources to continue and having a happy life. What does a happy life mean? You know, in a green project, you have a lot of open space, you have a lot of greenery, it's a generally pleasant environment.
Yes.
Basically, that's it.
I agree with you, sir. Just hearing you describe what that sustainable living is like and the happy environment, nakaka-happy na eh. Imagining, you will have your own space that's actually like that. So, Miss Cyrill?
Yes, just to add what Roy said, sustainable living is also about right sizing, it's being efficient and less wasteful in consuming products around you, and living and working in spaces that are appropriate or just right for you. So it's really being practical and efficient. It's really how we define sustainability.
Yes, ma'am. And we do have another question here in our comment section. What prompted SMDC to create mid-rise residential properties? Ms. Cyrill?
It's just, of course, as mentioned a while ago, to address also the backlog in housing. Other personal uh, motivation that SMDC has is really about having the real sizing whenever possible. MRBs have less of an impact on location skyline. It provides more open space. It doesn't overwhelm people who has transitioned from single family homes to a multi-family buildings. And it provides housing to those who need it more. Middle class professionals who are looking for their first independent home or their first investment homes.
Thank you, Ms. Cyrill, for that answer. But we do have a follow-up question from our interested viewers over here. What are the unique offerings of the mid-rise development that can attract potential locators and residents?
Okay, so for each mid-rise development, is uniquely SMDC by its offering of affordable homes within a built nestled within affordable homes surrounded by cherished open spaces and amenities. That is located near or beside malls. It's actually really predominantly evident in our developments for additional conveniences and transport hubs for better accessibility.
Thank you, Ms. Cyrill. Truly, SMDC really considers how they can help the Filipino people with this kind of development. But Sir Roy, we do have a question for you from one of our viewers. Could you further explain how this project will help in solving the backlogs in the Philippines, sir?
Yeah, so I think MRB is actually a good balance between the inefficient land use of a single family home and the density, the extreme density of a high-rise. A high-rise building will have, 20, 30 units in a floor with only 4, 6 elevators. So you actually have traffic during when people go to work and when people go home, which you will not experience in an MRB. Now, for a single home, family home of, let's say, a house and lot or a bungalow, the land use is so inefficient. It occupies, almost 100%, let's say, of a certain plot that only one family can use. So the MRB project or product actually is a good balance between land use and comfort because of lesser density.
Yes, sir. And because of that, we do have an interesting follow-up question. Another interested, several interested viewers. But here's the question. Why should people invest in this type of residential project? What would be, I guess, sir, your opinion on that, like the perks of actually investing in a residential project such as this?
Yes, so as I mentioned earlier, the density is not so high, so that the quality of life for a project such as an MRB is much better. Also, the locations, I think, if I understand it right, have their own support commercial and other amenities with it. So you actually have a very convenient city type of living, even if you are not inside the city. So that makes it a very attractive product. And at the same time, since the density is low, there's no traffic in the elevator.
I agree with that, especially nowadays, sir, when we really have to consider our living space because of the new normal, right? So being able to hear about your opinion on why this is a worthy investment is really something that I believe helps our viewers in choosing this particular investment. But Ms. Cyrill, we do have time for one last question, and this is the question from one of our viewers. Apart from those mentioned in your talk, what are the other ways that SMDC incorporates sustainability in the design of its properties?
For sustainability, we try as much as possible to be holistic in terms of approach. So we do support a sustainable lifestyle through our design. So first, location. Our home Besides, the mall concept encourage our homeowners to reduce transportation requirements due to the nearness of establishments, serving basic needs. We encourage walking to the needed retail areas. We are also located along major thoroughfares and transportation hubs, so public transport is encouraged and easy to avail. And then secondly, inside the unit, our large windows let as much the sunlight in, reducing your lighting needs. The ledges that are installed above the windows are also provided shade that helps regulate temperature inside your unit. Less need to turn on your ACCUs. No? So plus you could also let the breeze in for passive cooling for our balcony units. This is on top of the LED lighting installed that have minimal power requirements. Also inside the unit, we support well-being of the residents by offering views of our gardens, amenities, and open spaces. We hope that with our thoughtful design of our landscape areas, can bring a welcome reprieve from a busy workday.
That sounds enticing. It's like, yes, check, check, check. Open space, free flowing air. It's everything that we all want. But thank you very much, Sir Roy, Miss Cyrill, and Aubrey for joining us today. And that's all the time we have left for today's event. But we are definitely looking forward to SMDC's latest mid-rise residential garden community. So, with that, this is Mica Pineda. Stay safe and have a good day, everybody. Thank you for joining us.